I've been studying this for about 10 years now, all the various conspiracies, you name it. And I've heard people talk about trying to reform the system, trying to infiltrate it. From my point of view, it's unreformable. It's too corrupt. It's corrupt from the very core, from the very organization, which is hierarchical, as is a corporation, as is the government, as is the media, as is all of it. Why would you think that you can reform something like that? Why not opt out? Does any... I mean, if we weren't so alienated and atomized and so busy with our own little
I was talking
problems,
about, I said, why hold on to it?
Why hold on to it? Why not just let it go?
But people can't do that. The whole, were you at my talk?
I was.
Right. The whole point is we cling like monkeys to the rotten sweets when the gooey good stuff is, you know, being offered to us. And this pathological identification with their thinking, it's happened subconsciously. It's happened through identification and many elaborate psychological processes. You see, all the stuff in the worldly domain, right? It's just the out picturing. It's the outward external form of something that's happening psychically, that's happening spiritually. We have spiritually identified with psychopaths, and we don't know what psychopathy is. We are identifying with the insane because we've forgotten what sanity is. We've lost the still point. We're not grounded, we're not rooted. We don't give a monkey's ass about our grandparents and the traditions of the past, you know, and then we wonder why we're feeling rootless. The pestilence has been going on from royal dynasties, you know, for centuries, which is why we have bugbears, you know, about Dr. Horowitz. Again, my point was that, you know, it's very, we must draw the line where we violate a person's sovereign right to do whatever he wants to do, swing from the chandelier, run around in the streets naked, you know, be knighted, whatever. We have our concerns, I'm sure you understand that. You're a very advanced being, and you know that. But we also must not violate the sovereign, you know, rights of another person, because then we become like them. So what I'm saying is that that is an example of what I'm talking about. We have identified with their pathology. I believe you were trying to say the same thing anyway. And we have to watch that in ourselves, because why fight the tyrants up there when we're doing it in our homes? True. Have you observed how people treat their animals? Have you observed how mothers treat their children? I have. Yes, right. So have I. And so there's lots of different complexions to tyranny. Right? It's not just up there in the corridors of power. It's here, it's right here. And much of it is even psychic. Much of it is understated. And I personally believe that's one of the worst kinds. So the identification with that pathology, it needs to be addressed and looked at. And you're right. Why try to prop up, sustain, reinvigorate the rotten carcass, this filthy, degenerate, perverted system that was built out of the most poisonous creatures that have ever been, you know, unfortunate enough to live on this planet. Buckminster Fuller said, if you don't like the system, wait till it crumbles and then invent a new system to replace the one that you don't like. That takes work. But we don't want to do that, which is why we rely on Big Brother to come in and help, and then he'll just have a 2.0, tyranny 2.0. We've been doing that. And how many times have they rolled it up and folded it up, and then comes another one, which includes all of these various other divisions and all of these different schisms. You see, they breed this dichotomy, because once you've accepted one form of dualism, that just immediately becomes a virus. There's dualisms just pour out once you've accepted one. This is the whole satanic principle. Once you can be deluded about one thing, then it's non-stop. That just the fabric becomes unraveled, and that's what's happened. And we're down to trying to put the pieces back together again, you know. But you see, we have to watch our need to rely on the other to do that. It's instantly a statement of your disempowerment. You have to observe and become unbelievably aware of how you disempower yourself on a daily basis, both politically and in every other way. You have to really microanalyze that. Like I said, like the Bruce Lee concept, become still. I didn't mean inactive and zombie-like. I meant still, so that you can observe carefully what you're doing to yourself and to other people. And when we even conceive of a sort of a political paradigm of this is going to make change, and that's going to do this, and this person's going to do this for me, you know, we're already subconsciously disempowering ourselves and moving out of center, and that's when Big Brother's eyes open. That's when the vulture is interested. You see, because they know that. They have a whole Leviathan to get you out of that center. So, but then again, here's the thing. There's no, I can't, and then people will go, all right, Michael, tell us how to do it. Or Pope Ratzinger, tell us how to do it. There is no A to Z. This is the whole essence of selfhood. Only you can walk your path for you. The only message that we can give you is do it fearlessly. Open your heart, do it fearlessly. Don't buy into their bullshit, because they can't move. They're static. I mean, these people are morbid and static, and that's a whole other subject. But the thing is, there's no A to Z, there's no map. And even if there is a map, somebody can show you the map, they can't walk the topography for you. The doctor does not get into the bed with a patient who's sick. He can only suggest what you should do for yourself, both medically and also, I say the same thing, psychologically. So there's no A to Z manual. Each individual must find their bliss, their Dharma, and work with that. And then that inspires the rest. That has a chain effect. You know, people think, oh, we're so big head honchos up here. We've done nothing but what I'm just telling you we've done. There's no difference except that maybe, you know, some of us have tapped into that in our own ways. That's the only thing that makes us unique at all. But the thing is that that's within us all, and we must find that, and then again make sure that you've realized, this is my last point, beware, be vigilant of all the forces that stop you doing that, because it's a twofold thing. You have the desire to go forward, but there's also impediments in your way. It's catabolic and anabolic. It's Shiva and it is Shakti. It is Nagwal and it is Tonal. It is Yin, it is Yang. It is masculine and feminine, and so on. You have to know what you want in your goal and how to get it, but you must become absolutely, fundamentally, and incredibly scientifically aware of all the obstacles that stand in the way of you and your selfhood. That's what we're here for on this planet. That's the education. The rest will be taken care of by that higher force. You're not going to be able to do it. Ultimately, we may not even get out of the web with our own egoistic desires. But the homework that you can do is click into your Dharma, have total belief in yourself, and observe all the forces that stand between you. Become intimately aware of those, and that's then how you then go out and help the rest of mankind to do likewise.